What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about the top 5 short squeeze stocks that you need to add to your watch list. So I want to go over all the things you need to know, but first make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with stock number 5, although not in any particular order, ticker is ASNS. And so right now it is sitting at 70 cents over the last 1 year, down 51.21%, but over the last 5 days up 7.02%, and then over the last 1 month up 58%. This is what they do, and actually on a side note, a lot of good information here, such as market cap, so 11.58 million, but this is what they do. So communications equipment, 38 employees, founded in 1998 and based out of the States. But we are here because of this, so 13.75% of the free float is being shorted, works to be 2.1 million shares. So shorts have been very reactive to the stock price. So as it kind of moved higher, shorts doubled down. So it went from about 0 or about 2.8% of the free float being shorted to a high of about 23%. So they did return a little bit over the last 2 days, but still very overextended. Short score, so the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening, is sitting at 79.14. Through IBKR, it does indicate roughly around 10,000 shares is available to be shorted. Cost to borrow average, fairly high, so 269.98%. That's an annual rate, not a daily rate, but with this little amount of shares, most likely you will be seeing some buying over the next little bit coming from big players as they love to buy stocks and lend it out. So add this one to your watch list. Moving on to the next one, ticker is GLTO, sitting at 1065 over the last 1 year. It is up 42.19%, and then over the last 5 days up 160%. Still factoring in yesterday's kind of push lower, about 40%. Still a lot of good momentum with this stock. 14.1 mil for the market cap. This is what they do. So biotech, founded in 2011, based out of Denmark. And on a side note, if you are new to the channel, I like to kind of pick stocks that have some good pre-existing momentum, and in many cases, shorts are overextended. So again, that's kind of what made this list. But at the time of doing this video, 11.8% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 145,000 shares available to be shorted. So this is exactly what the market loves to squeeze. Kind of heavily shorted, low float, so meets that criteria. Short score is 79.03. Shorts have been extremely reactive to the stock price really moving higher. So it went from about 1.5% of the free floats being shorted, that was on September the 19th, to a high of where we are now for the most part at 11.84. So shorts have doubled and quadrupled down over the last 2 weeks. So again, putting them in a little bit of a sticky scenario. Through IBKR does indicate a lonely 7,000 shares is available. So most likely you'll be seeing some buying as BlackRock, Vanguard, and many other big names will buy just to lend out, because even the cost to borrow is fairly juicy, 313.48%. So add this one to your watch list. Moving on to the next one, ticker is SLDP, sitting at 624. Over the last 1 year, it is up 403%. And then over the last 5 days alone, up 52.87. So it's starting to build more and more good momentum. Good market cap on a side note, so 1.13 billion. I know I do go through a lot of this fairly fast. That's only because I want like an 8-minute video, not a 50-minute video or something like that, but feel free to always pause it throughout the video and look at, for instance, a lot of the quantitative data right here, the scores, and so you can kind of see the valuation, growth, profitability, momentum, and revisions. And if you ever want, I can always dive deep into it a little bit more. Same goes for the seasonality. So again, you can kind of see over the last 3 years on average in October, does go down about 13.5%. on average, and then same for November, it looks like it goes down about 9.8%. So again, something to keep in mind. This is what they do. So automotive parts and equipment, 260 employees, founded in 2011, based out of the States. 9.23% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 15.08 million shares. So again, I'm sure you guys already caught on that I don't like to choose the most like massively heavily shorted stocks, like 60+%, because at that stage I feel like there's a lot of fundamental issues with the company itself, whereas between roughly about 8 to 20 to 30%, that's a little bit more manageable, and the company can still be good and fundamentally kind of improving. Again, so don't be deterred by this 9.23%. It still could have a squeeze because 15.08 million shares overall are being shorted. DTC sitting at 1.21 days, so that does also really signal that shorts are overextended. DTC, so that does factor in the average volume for this stock in comparison to the number of shares being shorted. So over the last little bit, it went from about for the most part, about 4% short interest. That was on August the 8th, doubled down to 12.95. Since then, they have returned a little bit, but still, like I said, DTC sitting at 1.21 days does signal that they are overextended. About 2.6 million shares is available to be shorted, and cost to borrow is kind of low. So in this case, you might not be seeing any buying coming from big institutions because cost to borrow is low, not really advantageous to them, and plus there's sufficient amount of shares. Moving on to the next one, this one's an interesting one, and that is Plug Power, sitting at 366 over the last 1 year, up 77%, and then over the last 1 month, up 152%. So this one has been making a pretty big name for itself. This is what they do, so electrical components and equipment. 3,200 employees, founded in 97. On a side note, there was a new ETF, a meme ETF that was formed, and this was number 2. So it does have weighting about 10.71%. So kind of interesting for that. But aside from that, 32.04% of the free float is being shorted, works to be 358 million shares. Short score, 7503. DTC 3.96, so shorts are extremely overextended with this stock, and shorts have been really doubling down. It went from in June 22% short interest to a peak of about 33 for the most part, so it's been lingering for a while. So shorts definitely are overextended. Through IBKR, it does indicate about 3.2 million shares, so same as the last stock, sufficient amount of shares, so I don't see any buying just for purposes of lending it out, and cost to borrow is not the greatest. So again, I think this still could really move higher, but you won't be seeing any buying just for lending out stock. And then moving on to the last one, again, not in any particular order though. Ticker is EPSM, sitting at 33.19, has been trading for less than 1 year, but over the last 1 month, up 31.45%. Market cap about 446, and this is what they do. So it is based out of China, founded in 2020, but 16.04% of the free float is being shorted, works to be 333,000 shares. Short score is 7883, and then through IBKR, just to indicate about 25,000 shares is available to be shorted. Cost to borrow average is about 381%, so fairly high stuff. And this is actually a good example of what I mean. Even in the pre-market, which is when I'm filming this video, it went from about 9 to 7 to 25. The reason why that does change is because institutions buy, sell, and they are lending out their stock. So some institution clearly did buy a handful of shares, and that's why it did jump from about 7 to 25,000. So again, something to keep in mind, but most likely you'll be seeing a lot more buying with this stock and couple of the stocks that I did bring up. So let me know your thoughts on these stocks. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. If there is any other squeeze plays that you feel could really move higher, throw some tickers in the description below. One final thing though, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.